Good morning and welcome to the Summerset National Bowls in Christchurch at the Burnside Club. And this morning we've got here at Burnside, we have got the semi-final of the women's pairs, also the quarterfinals of the men's singles, and out on the greens at the front here we have got the continuation of the blind bowls competition and para bowls New Zealand. And throughout the day we'll be keeping you up to date of the progress of those results. My name is Kevin Hicklin, and alongside me I've got Alex Reid, and we'll be concentrating on the semi-final match that between Claire Hendra and Taylor Bruce. Taylor Bruce of Burnside, Claire Hendra of the Silver String Club in Wellington, up against the mother and daughter combination of Kirsten Rowe and Emily Miller, both of the Burnside Club here in Christchurch. So fantastic to see what we've got in front of us here today, Alex.
Yep, certainly, and it's absolutely lovely weather for it as well, Kevin. The sun is shining and birds are chirping, so it's a great start to a day of bowls.
It certainly is, and the green here, looking again at Burnside, they always prepare the greens are always in really, really superb condition, and they are again. Emily Miller, on the group mat now, the 29-year-old, the Burnside Club, winner of 3 Canterbury titles to date, and in the Canterbury squad, and they won their way through yesterday out at Sumner. As we watch this bowl, the last bowl of Emily Miller's on the first end, breaking down towards the jack now, will settle right on, literally on the centre line. It's a shot, good opening end for the Burnside combination, Alec, as the skips change over.
It's a great start with the weight from the two leads there, Kevin. If you look at the weight of the bowls, they've got pretty good touch early on.
Yeah, certainly have, and as we know, Alex, and you and I have spoken about this on numerous occasions, the key thing is to get back to that centre line positioning, and we'll see that a couple of those bowls have done so. The players are, of course, 18 ends, no time limit in these semi-finals. Claire Hendra and Taylor Bruce have beaten finalists 2 years ago here in Christchurch, in fact, at Papanui. They went down to Selena Smith, or Selena Goddard, and Caitlin Inch. But of course, Caitlin Inch not able to be here because of the COVID scenario with Australia. To watch the first bowl of Hendra, going to come right back to that centre line and behind the jack, about a metre behind. Good opening bowl on that first end. So here is now Kirsten Rowe on the backhand.
So Kirsten and Emily are both from Burnside Club, aren't they, Kevin?
Correct.
So they'll be looking for some home support here. It'll be pretty cool to be playing a national semi-final at your home club, I would imagine.
Well, if you look around the green today, there's a good first bowl here from Kirsten Rowe, right in behind the jack. There's a number of Burnside players out here today. Also, out of the men's singles, got Barry Williams, Richard Hocking, also out here as well. So it's a bit of a Burnside gala. Claire Hendra just asking Taylor Bruce the question of what shot to play on the forehand. It looks as though she'll come down towards that position. The other semi-final in the women's sees Sandra Keith, of course, well-known former New Zealand player, playing with Bev Morrell. Well, what can we say about Bev Morrell? Bev's been an outstanding performer at the Nationals in Canterbury area for a long, long time. As we see the second bowl of Claire Hendra just drop by the head on that centre line, though. So that's Bev Morrell and Sandra Keith. They're up against Natasha Grimshaw and Hannah Rio da Silva in the other semi-final here in the women's pairs. And they caused I'd say the big upset out on the green here yesterday when they defeated Amy McElroy and Selena Goddard, who had earlier beaten the sister combination of Mandy and Angela Boyd, and Grimshaw and da Silva running out the winners. Actually, they had quite a comfortable win, really, in that quarter-final yesterday afternoon. Taylor Bruce just having a look to see how many they're down. I was out at Sumner yesterday, and in the very first game of post-section play, and playing against Gail Melrose and Debbie White, Claire Hendra and Taylor Bruce, they in fact were 10-0 behind. And on the charges, Hendra trying to get to the front bowls, just needs to hold, goes by, wasn't far away, just a bowl away on the drive. And then they won their next 2 games, Claire Hendra and Taylor Bruce, 14-13. So they had a pretty tough three games yesterday on the green, out of a beautiful city out in Sumner. Anyone who's coming down to Christchurch, I recommend you get in the car, drive out to Sumner and have a look at the magnificent complex that they have built there. The One Green Club, resultant from the earthquake, and they've built a magnificent complex, a lovely, lovely clubhouse. and big glass frontage looking out over the green area. They've taken 2 out, looking to see whether the last bowler's in as well to get 3 on this opening end for the Burnside combination. Good opening end from the mother and daughter combination,
good start
Alex.
there. Well, I do think you mentioned Bruce and Hendra had some really close games yesterday. That's always good, I feel, going to the pointy end of a national event. You know, they could literally, as you see, get 10-0 down and still be feeling like they can make a comeback here. So I think we're in for a really good game of 18 ends.
Well, it was interesting in that match yesterday, and to me it highlights the skill set of the players. They adjusted the length, the jack length, and it certainly worked in their favour. And they scored over 4 ends. They scored 3 threes and a single, and there it goes. That makes a big difference, doesn't it?
It'll do the trick. It'll be interesting to see if we see a similar strategy in this game, depending on how it goes. They certainly know all of them. It's good to see too some people out this morning watching the bowls. We saw a shot just before of the ditch side sort of lined up and people crowding up, and that's only going to increase as the day goes on. And good catering at Burnside too, Kevin.
Yeah, there is. I've heard all the good reports, actually. Yesterday I was at Sumner a good part of the day, but no doubt I do happen to know, I heard on good authority, Alex, that at some point, not sure when, but the delightful cheese rolls, they'll arrive.
That's good news. I had one earlier on this week, and it was a top-notch cheese roll. So I hope I'm in the area when that happens.
So also throughout this match, we will be giving you updates of these quarterfinals of the men's singles, who have just got underway in their race to 21. And there was some upsets yesterday for sure, Alex, wasn't there? As we always see in singles, but there was some of those upsets of which one wouldn't have thought, well, I wouldn't have predicted them, I would say.
Yeah, that was interesting to watch the results sort of come in my position in the chat room, but always keeps things interesting and exciting, Kev.
Absolutely, it does. A good opening bowl here on the second end from Tata Bruce, just sitting right in front of the jack. So here's on that backhand, got a wee bit of a twitch of the delivery point. But obviously, it's the old story. If you do it the same with every bowl, it's
it does the trick.
It does the trick, doesn't it? As we watch this second bowl breaking in towards the head now, not going to come towards the Bruce bowl. Very good opening bowl from Taylor Bruce, and talking to the mother and daughter combination this before the game, they don't seem to be too overawed by it all, and they do play a bit together, not a lot, but they do play quite a bit together. Another good bowl from Bruce. Just question the weight. Has it got it? No, it hasn't. We'll get to the centre line. Literally leaves half a metre. You'll see the jack level bowl, the second bowl of Emily Miller's. The weight was fine on that, on her backhand side. She just bouncing.
Seems to do that every time she plays a bowl.
Just a little bounce on the toes.
Routine, yeah.
Now, got a different line with this bowl. That's certainly inside the line of her previous two.
Just down to the weight.
Down to the weight as it breaks in behind their head. And it'll sit on that bowl in behind, just beyond the 2 metre mark.
You're playing up.
It was coming back to the right area. Taylor Bruce now endeavouring to sit inside that bowl and behind the jack. Of course, a big year for Taylor Bruce. Endeavouring to give every opportunity for her to make that blackjack side for the Commonwealth Games in the UK later in the year. The COVID scenario has certainly created a very telling environment for the international scene. We were to play Australia at Mount Tambourine in March.
Yes, that's right.
And that's now on the
being pushed a little bit back.
Been pushed back, but it will be played. We just wait for those borders to show us a bit of freedom, and away they'll go. So, of course, our Australian-based players, those Benelli Forsyth, Chris Lalive and Caitlin Ince, all had intentions of coming back to play in these nationals. In fact, Ellie Forsyth and Chris Lalive are going to play in the pairs together.
Yes.
But, of course, the border restrictions and that prevented that. But it's not to say that they're not into full swing of bowls, because they're involved this weekend. It starts the Queensland Premier League in the club gets underway, and they're actively involved in that, as we see now. Kirsten playing on a forehand, just question that width.
Yeah, it looks like it's a pretty high line and not quite coming back as much as she would
might get a bit of an inside slide into and got in. Well, might be second shot now. Sits jack level.
Yeah, I've seen bowls go worse than that, Kev.
Yeah.
They went okay.
Just got that very genteel inside slide. So here's Claire Hendra, been around the Wellington scene and New Zealand scene for a long time in that New Zealand squad for that possible make-up of the Commonwealth Games side.
Yeah, coming in nicely. Even though she passed is good, isn't it? Because Taylor sort of put one close, one shy, one a little bit wide. So that's
really good thing, of course, Alex. It gives really the no shoulder to work off those jack low bowls can just give you that slide in towards the jack.
Yeah.
And where that bowl of Claire Hendras has gone, finished directly in behind the jack. So Kirsten Rowe again now going to her forehand, trying to get down to where those two counting bowls are. Just wonder how she brought that line in.
Willing it to break. You need it to break now.
Yeah, it's got to be inside that line of that bowl. Well, the weight's not actually that bad. It's a metre over the head, but it's more that line. And I just, early on in the game, of course, Alex, I just wonder whether the line on that forehand side may not be quite as generous on the draw.
Yeah.
Just if you get out a wee bit, you'll notice this bowl of Claire Hendra a distinctly different line as it breaks in towards the head, virtually playing down into that triangle is the key target, isn't it?
Yeah.
Has it got the weight?
Not quite.
Not quite.
Not horrible though. It's pretty good mud in the IA. You have to sort of navigate that.
Well, very much so, because now you've just looking at where that line seems to be, Alex. It's just outside that bowl, really, isn't it? If you get too far outside that line, you won't come back. And this line from Kirsten Rowe, we'll see when it gets
tighter.
This is a fairly good line, because if it gets past these two here, it's going to get close down towards the jack. Hasn't got the weight. Certainly had the line. That was the real line to the jack there. And now, because Claire Hendra needs to come past her own or turn her own bowl over to capture those 3 shots back from the first end.
Yeah, going to bounce back pretty much straight away, I think, the Hendra and Bruce combination and score a 3-ish here.
Well, certainly outside that bowl and will stay right outside, I would say.
There's that holding sort of line that we spoke about, Kev. I think you're probably right. It'll be interesting to see if that stays throughout the game, that side towards the clubhouse, just a little bit holding. You need to make sure you're on the slightly narrower side or your ball's going to die out in the rough.
Well, it was just quite evident that you weren't getting that last 6-foot draw towards the jack, and that's nothing against the green at all. It's just where just finding the line, isn't it? That's
absolutely. And players tend to lock it in once they find it. You'll see that. I would imagine that the Burnside skip, she knows she got perfect line with her third bowl.
Absolutely.
So next time she's going down that direction, she knows what line she has to play.
So 2 ends gone of 18, and it is the mother and daughter combination, Emily Miller and Kirsten Rowe's skip, leading Claire Hendra and Taylor Bruce. 3 shots to 2. It's our pleasure to bring you this live coverage, which will be now for the next 4 days on Sky Sport Next. And if you go, of course, to the Bowls New Zealand website, it'll certainly give you the links to be able to come directly online and watch all the live action.
Yep, we've got links left, right and centre, Kev, and I would encourage anyone watching this now to share it with your friends and family or non-bowling people, just so they can have a look and see what our sport's all about. Now,
we saw the opening bowl there of Taylor Bruce's on the third end, sit right onto the jack, and there's that little spring on. Gets the bowl away with a wee bit of a...
little bit of a dump
there, just a slight dump, but how's the weight?
Speed.
Certainly, it's on a pretty good line, but it's going to miss a metre of weight.
It'll be interesting to see if she takes a slightly different track to the other ones, because she's a left-handed
correct
player, Kev. So we let go the bowl, it starts in a different place to a right-handed one.
Well, it's also, as you well know, Alex, the arc of the bowl comes at a different point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's deceptive. Here's now Taylor Bruce with her second bowl on this, the third end. Current backjack player at her home club, endeavouring to get past the Emily Miller bowl. Got a touch on it. And so this will be interesting now. This will give us an idea of the rink, really, Alex, because Emily Miller's got to come past 2 jacklow bowls.
I'm back to the 2 metre mark.
Getting
really
back to the 2 metre mark. And see it just hanging, just not coming as much out there. And of course, one tends to put the weight on to get around that bowls, and that's resultant.
Yeah.
And to stay alive, that's fine.
Only that
Just,
far
you'll
off.
see they're sitting
Fred's
beyond the
done
2
it.
metre mark. So Taylor Bruce really on the backhand got an ideal opportunity here. Just get past her. And of course, you can lock the head up early,
Yeah,
can't
it's a
you,
great
Alex?
opportunity for your lead, your third bowl of the lead. You've got 2. You want to play a perfect third bowl and go, there you are. You're 3 down. What are you going to do?
And you lock the head up and lock the options up. Taylor Bruce on the wider side will be over the head. And Claire Hendrick she won't be too concerned about that, because there's a chance there with that jack and shot bowler sitting at Kirsten Rowe may well attack that head to get down through the port there to get to the jack or the shot bowl. So here is now Emily Miller on her forehand. It's a different line to what. Now, how far is this going to come back? Taking interest in this is the mother, Skip, Kirsten. It's going to come back towards this, come right back to the centre line. And although it be the second shot, I would say, and that's a good position where it's really finished, Alex. So,
That's a good shot there.
now attacking shot is on down through there now, isn't it? Playing there's a good pace line under the. Well, in fact, that's Kirsten. That's Emily's bowl in front as well.
Yeah.
That can easily be turned into the head. So there's a weighted option down there to where that jack in the bowl is.
I think Emily and Kirsten were talking about that, so they'll wait and see what Claire does. But if she doesn't clog up the front, I suspect we'll see a bit of weight. Probably on the back end.
Well, yes, because it's interesting. Everything's on one hand at this particular time. So that means the bowls are literally positioned on that. Claire Hendra on her backhand side. Hendra now trying to get down past the Taylor Bruce bowl. Looks on a pretty
high line again.
It's a high line out there, and I think it's pretty obvious, Alex. If you get out just a fraction, you're just not going to get that draw back to the centre line. It's a mid-range in between, isn't it?
Definitely,
To get back to that centre line. So
here we go.
this looks like weight to me from Kirsten, and it is.
She's on her forehand, I think, Kev.
It's a harder shot. Well, in my opinion, it's certainly a harder shot because you got bowls to play to on that backhand side, especially the Leeds bowl sitting out there in front of the head. Not going to do any damage if you take it out.
If you miss a few feet wide on the backhand, you're through the split.
Correct. Claire Hendricks adjusted the line with this bowl, that's for sure. That's definitely on a narrower line and should get reward for it coming down towards the Taylor Bruce bowl now, and might get a turn out of it. Doesn't matter. And finishes jack level. To me, the best option.
Steering down a barrel of 3 down here. Kirsten on her forehand again. What sort of weight? We're having another nibble.
Well, it's inside the line, but still going to be outside it, though. Still going to be outside the shot bowl.
I think she's committed with weight now, Kev. It's just whether she wants to make that correction with her third bowl on the forehand and play it narrower, or take a punt and switch with her third one.
Well, she's definitely committed. She's going to have to play with weight.
Yeah, in her head, the percentages of drawing after 2 drives.
And unlikely now after with 2 to change the hand. And again, we see Claire Hendricks on that fairly similar line to what a second bowl is. Taylor Bruce likes this. There's a superb shot. This can just get past and draw.
This is classy stuff from Claire.
It is. Now,
forehands on now, Kev.
Now, here's the big opportunity. 3-bowl target really to the bowls or the jack. Just need to tighten that line up, does Kirsten Rowe.
She's
on
not
its
wide.
way. She's not wide. She's tightened that line up. It's going to get the front, I think.
We'll
see what happens.
Oh, I think she hit fresh air there, Kev.
Yeah, it was
disappointing there for the Miller and Rowe combination, dropping what looked like at least a 3, wasn't it?
It looked like a 3 from my position here, and I personally, I think it was came about by, I would say, possibly the wrong choice of hands from the first bowl, and thus then committed to try and to keep on that line. 5-3, it was a 3, you're right, Alex.
Yeah. It was just a good example of how pressure builds, I think, in an end. When you watch the last 3 bowls, Claire just sort of popped a couple in and one pass, and the pressure built and built on the Miller and Rowe combination, and she wasn't able to salvage it this time, but obviously she's managed to salvage it enough. Well, salvaging is the wrong word, but to get here, you don't get here without playing some good bowls.
You don't get the semi-finals by luck. And of course, the opportunity was sort of enlightened when that other third bowler, Claire Hendricks, came in, did create literally a 3-bowl target to the jack. Taylor Bruce, there's see now, going to be on that wider side. And it's just not coming back on that width There's nothing really wrong with the weight. Alex is there.
No, the weight's fine, and the green's fine, to be fair. It's consistent. We know the hand's consistent. It's just
Absolutely.
consistently not a wide hand. So the players will either take a tighter line, or we might see someone switch. Usually give it, 4 or 5 ends.
4 ends.
See how it's going. If they're not liking it, we might see someone switch the other side of the rink.
So Emily Miller is inside the Taylor Bruce line and is going to come back towards the centre line, but will be a good metre over. But certainly that was more to the line. And as Alex said before, the line of which Emily takes is different to Taylor Bruce's. The left-handed, right-handed combination just creates different lines to the jack. Taylor Bruce has certainly adjusted here with the second bowl with that line that Alex and I were talking about. And this is going to break just past the Emily, not going to sit on the Miller bowl.
Good shot. Good correction there. She had kept exactly the same weight.
Same weight, exactly the same weight.
At 9 o'clock, that bowl's the same weight as the one that's at 6. She just brought the line in. So that's a good correction there from Taylor.
Taylor Bruce, very, very much a perfectionist in her bowls pursuit. She trains hard, competitive, very resilient, and we see Emily Miller. She's adjusted the line enough. Is it enough to get to the Taylor Bruce bowl? Needs to sit inside it.
Yeah, not quite. You could see that bowl fighting against the bias just that little bit.
It was trying to get into that inside line, but just held out on the outside. And as said, the men's quarterfinals of the singles are also underway. Andrew Curtin, Andrew Curtin now playing Barry Williams. And what a comeback from Andrew Curtin. Literally a player who hasn't played very much at all over recent years. And back out on the green is Andrew Curtin playing Barry Williams. Richard Hocking, the local, playing Tony Grantham, Mount Albert of Auckland. Eric Patello of Tauranga South playing Kelvin Scott, former winner, of course, of Elmwood Park. Nick Tomsett of Mount Maunganui playing the defending champion, Mike Galloway of Royal Oak. And also out here on the front green, of course, we have got the blind bowls in action and para bowls New Zealand. And over tomorrow and the next day, we will be bringing you coverage of those particular events. Interesting there, Alex, if you look at the 3 bowls of Emily Miller, literally identical.
Yes.
The line of the 3 of them was literally perfect to where it needed to be. Just had that sort of metre of weight, and you look there now, there's 5 bowls literally all locked on, touching one another.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for, it's a great bit of grouping. It'd be great if the jack was just a little bit back and to our left.
So Claire Hendrip and Kirsten Rowe having that chat. See Jenny Anderson sitting behind there, the former Bowlsley 5 player from the Wood End Club, now residing up in the Marlborough Sounds. So here is Claire Hendrip, Wellington, been close to the pairs in other years. Is this going to be the year for this particular combination? And in the other semi-final, of course, we have got
another add to that.
Another in that big block of bowls there. And in the other semi-final, we've got Sandra Keith, the well-known Cantabrian player, playing up with Bev Morrell, one of the legends of Canterbury, up against Natasha Grimshaw and Hannah Rio de Silva. And we'll be bringing you updates from those throughout the morning as well. Needing to get inside, rest on the Claire Hendra bowl and fell in. And indication from Taylor Bruce then that is the Claire Hendra bowl is in fact the shot. So Kirsten Rose, in fact, 1 bowl away from getting the ultimate result.
On the forehand, a different line.
Certainly is. This should be about the line you're looking at, Alex, isn't it?
Yeah, down to the oomph now for Claire. Perfect line, just that little bit shy.
Well, really, for Kirsten Rowe, it gives her a very, very good line. She knows that she's just outside that front bowl. And the ones just in behind, just adjusting that line fractionally. She knows very well that the bowl will come back to the centre line. And how far out as it looks to be inside that line this time.
Half a chance if she's got the weight, I reckon. It's down to the weight. Just passing through by the looks, I think, Kev.
Had it absolutely perfect insofar as the line was concerned, wasn't it? More than just half a metre weight. You see it sitting there on that centre line. So now for Rowe, just because the danger is you try and adjust that weight too much and you finish a metre short, don't you? So here is this last
forehand, not coming back here, just got stuck out wide.
Here's the chance here, and of course a touch on the jack. If she was to touch the jack on that, or make 2 shots of it.
Yep, for sure. Just resetting herself, something must have. She asked
walking past the head or the back of the rink.
Yeah, potentially settling in for the stop moving, says Claire. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's someone there.
Still doing it.
Must be people sort of coming in to get ready for
well,
the
I noticed there was people walking past before, but no, you just got to be a bit considerate of the players, don't you, and just take a look. Out of the hand, it looked a fraction wider, Alex.
It did. Still high, I think. I don't think we're going to see that come back into shot.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, perhaps a bit of distraction there for Rowe. That was not a good bowl.
Just the
Should
one.
be disappointed with that.
Well, she unfortunately, had about 3 attempts on the mat prior to delivery, and obviously there was movement in behind there. So we see Taylor Bruce, the Burnside player, who actually, the point of Taylor Bruce taking up long bowls is very, very interesting. When we had the World Championships here in 2008,
yes,
and of course Burnside is the headquarters, playing for Australia, of course, at that stage, was the very young New Zealand-born Kelsey Cottrell playing in the Australian side. And Taylor's parents, both members here at Burnside, Taylor came along to watch.
Yep.
And got enthralled by watching the young Kelsey Cottrell from, I think it was down Timaru way she was born. And that was the encouragement for Taylor Bruce to take up bowls. And then, as we saw then in later years, we saw them playing against one another.
Yes, I remember that.
At the international level. So Kelsey Cottrell, of course, one of the leading players still in Australia. And Taylor Bruce, I'm not going to say incumbent blackjack, because
she's a prominent bowler.
She's a prominent player and certainly in contention for that Commonwealth Games side to be selected later on.
Yeah. And you couldn't ask for a much better delivery than what Taylor has if you were looking to coach someone. Make your delivery look like that and you'll go pretty good.
Oh, absolutely. And if if I look now as well, I took note yesterday as an example, and I use Lisa Prideaux as an example, who coached by Leif Selby, of course.
Yeah, he knows a thing or two.
He knows a thing or two. Yeah. Previous world champion, of course, now working for Auckland Bowls. But Lisa has got one of those deliveries, like Taylor Bruce, where it doesn't matter what the surface, what the green is, what the pace is, whatever. It's not a push delivery. It's not a across-the-body delivery. And there's Selena Goddard, Taylor Bruce, and Lisa Prideaux have all got that pretty consistent delivery.
What you find is those deliveries don't break down under pressure either, do they, Kevin?
No, they don't.
It's just the same thing over and over again. You can be in a pretty stressful situation and you just back it to come out of your hand.
Well, you just do it. We just do it so many times, don't you? It just becomes second nature. We see a second bowler, Emily Miller, should be disappointed with that, standing there with the Powerade, getting some fluid in, which I think will be important today as they look out from we're inside the building. We're not actually right outside. Good crowd assembling already, Alex. But look at the sky out there. She's certainly, I think we're in for a scorcher.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful weather. We've been blessed so far, Kev, at this Nationals in Christchurch with really good weather, which is slightly different to what we had the Nationals we held last year in Auckland.
Certainly was.
We had biblical everything.
Yeah. Let's see whether Emma Miller certainly took a time on the mat prior to the delivery, because she's had 2 not so favourable bowls.
Needs it to break back.
And breaking back now.
There we go.
And this is a good bowl from the lead for the mother and daughter combination. Sits right alongside the jack.
Great shot there from Emily Miller, and shows a lot of a bit of grit there. It would have been easy just to play another so-and-so bowl on a hand that you've sort of been struggling on a little bit. But
well, especially after the second bowl lost its way entirely. It went right across the head. Just puts that pressure on to adjust, with your next. That she did, and drew and sat right alongside the jack. Alan Bryce, he's a good man. Brings the water into the commentary box. He's got a few days of doing this.
Yeah, must have heard you talk about the hot weather, I think, Kev.
And of course Tamara, who does a magnificent job getting all this production together. Here's now Claire Hendra endeavouring to get down to reach to the bowl of Emily Miller's. Taylor Bruce was taking interest in it, not really now. Just going to sit on the outside of the bowl. Was a good attempt. Now I think we're at the point now from the row combination. Change your hand time. You're holding the shot now.
Yeah, definitely.
And Julie, that's exactly what Kirsten Rowe's now done, gone to that forehand.
It's one of the first draw balls I think we've seen on that side away from the club, to be fair, Kev. Apart from the three runners we saw on the forehand before, I don't recall really seeing a draw shot on that side.
Well, it's a big arc on that side of you. I know it's short, that bowl, Alex, but it certainly came back a long way, didn't it? It was a big pull towards the jack. So here's Hendrip in the black on the backhand, the Silverstream player. Certainly on a narrower line with this bowl. Of course, got everything in her favour. Movement to the jack, everything's all in the favour.
Wants it to keep holding its line.
Holding the line to get to the
off.
jack. It's going to go by, but we'll sit on another one. It just goes by.
Two pretty well played bowls there from Claire.
Change your hands, says Emily. Emily, she's that daughter instructs her mother quite firmly.
Yeah.
Go back to the back end. Well, the other thing, of course, here, they need to make sure they've got they're in danger of a jack trail here or movement, which certainly could go bad for the mother and daughter combination. Out wide is Kirsten Rowe. That won't get back to where they need to be. So do we play that same weight, or do you drive? It is the same weight that's going to be played by Hendra. Touch on the jack or roll the bowl over.
Should be thinking halfway in between the first two, and I'll have 3 points here.
Absolutely. So here now, Claire Hendra on the mat, and it's given it perhaps a bit more weight.
Yeah, a little bit more purpose to this bowl.
It's coming past now. Taylor Bruce is looking closely at this.
Real close.
This is going to make contact with something, and does.
Good shot.
And that's a big number now.
Good shot there. Great bowl there from Claire Hendra.
That's 4, I think.
It is 4. Huge pressure here on the Burnside skip. Just deciding, looking on her backhand.
So Kirsten Rowe under a lot of pressure here. Needs to make sure she doesn't get out too wide.
Massive bowl. You really want to be, cutting it down to one.
Needs to come back now.
Here.
Not going to. It's going to stay out. I think that's 4. Yeah. Magnificent bowl from Hendra.
Disappointing there from Rowe and Hendra and Taylor. Just showing a bit of their class and experience, I think, at this point. And you won't see them take their foot off the accelerator either, Kevin.
No, you won't.
They're looking just to keep stacking up those bowls close to the head and scoring as many points as they can.
Well, it's an example, Alex, of
Good camera shot there, Kev.
It certainly is. Well done.
You can see Taylor just doing the measuring. 4, yep.
Yeah. Well, that's a 10-3 lead now. That's marked the 15 down. I think Alex is a big end in the game.
Yes, I agree with you. That was a good shot, a good turnaround, a good bowl from Claire, making that correction off her first and second. She played 3 good bowls really and got rewarded for them.
Well, the lesson in regards to that as well is you don't always have to have the shot. If you've got bowls around the head, you're going to give yourself a chance to get the shot, and to be able to play with conviction and play with purpose to get to a bowl. And Claire Hendra was close on each occasion, and then played the ultimate bowl with a 3rd and was duly rewarded. Burnside combination only had the 1 bowl around the jack.
Yeah, absolutely. You see, persisting, fair enough too at 10-3 up, but persisting with that club side there is Taylor. But I do wonder if we'll see Emily Miller switch to her forehand, which either side away from the clubhouse. Just see if they can change something up. I think they'll think we're a few down. We've played not as well as we would have liked. Change is probably the order of the day, I think.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Alex. It's about 18 ends. You play these games. The first 9 are very important. then you start again. You ignore the scoreboard,
Yeah.
and Emily Miller here looks to have a better line with this opening bowl, Alex, and see Kirsten giving this bowl applause. Is it going to get
Needs it
far
to run.
enough? Still needed a metre of weight.
Short of a gallop there.
It was on the line. It was on the the run line to the jack. Absolutely can feel that heat now, though, Alex, can't you?
Yes, yeah, it's coming
it's
coming in through the window in the commentary room, making its way through my bucket hat that I'm wearing, Kev.
Yeah, I like the bucket hat. It's is this? I've got one, but this is the new look. Is it?
Yes, they are. Yeah, I wonder if Mike Kernahan could take some credit for popularising the bucket hat. Look,
Well-
he's finally got it up to the Bowls New Zealand.
Hat's floppy.
Yeah.
Mike Kernan, of course, the New Zealand high performance coach. He's not here at present, as his daughter Kate gets married in Hamilton on Saturday.
Here comes a correction here from Emily Miller on her backhand.
Just needs to sit inside.
Willing it just to hold that little bit.
Got a touch.
Those are only that far behind.
Beautiful
Quite
line
handy.
twice now. It's just finding that weight. They seem to find one thing or the other. It can happen sometimes in bowls.
But Kernan, he'll be here. He's already assured me the last 2 days. Mike Kernan will be here, and no doubt we'll be walking around the green here at Burnside, and he will certainly have a bucket hat on, that's for sure.
Start turning.
And I can hear Claire Hendra there saying to Tara, Bruce Bolt, here's the change. Do you change on your third bowl, Alex? I say no.
Yeah, I'm always reticent. I think you should have enough information from your first two to make a good correction for your third,
Absolutely.
or you make the call early.
Scoreboard's against you. If you're going to change the first bowl. Don't change to try and save, especially in the lead position.
Yeah.
But a great attempt there from Emily, came back towards the centre line, but
It's not a horrible end on the crossover, but we're going to need to see two good bowls here from Kirsten Rowe, I think, to try and, or even actually, to be fair, scoring 1 point is good because you're stopping the right, aren't you?
absolutely
And then you get the opportunity
change
to
the length, change the mat.
length.
You can do a lot of things. And
There should be room there to draw the shot.
well, there is. There's actually, from the mat, I would say, from the car park end here at Burnside, there's a good line there to draw in between those two bowls for your vision point. There's a good line there as Claire Hendra electing to go to her backhand, and of course they're in a position where they can control the head, and Claire Hendra will be quite happy if she draws to where those two bowls of Emily Miller's are in behind the jack, because the movement will be out towards there, certainly on the wide side.
To run that little bit more.
It's coming
it's a
back.
bit freer on that backhand side.
And that's pretty much perhaps only two rolls away from. Now I'm surprised from a scoring perspective. Again, the hand that been played here, because there's better chances of, I feel, on the forehand, but we'll see where this bowl of Kirsten Rose. So you might, daughter.
That's lovely. Don't be worried if you're short with one. That's subtle, isn't it, Kev?
It's subtle, Mum. Yeah, I just feel when you're down in this position, Alex, and you have got that front bowl there, that you can. It just gives you a better vision in towards the head.
Yeah.
So here's just bowler Henderson. This is really putting the pressure on. If this gets another couple of rolls to count, and now the danger, of course, stay here is getting yourself in a predicament where you start running into bowls on the backhand.
The backhand again. Looking at that bowl. Looks on a slightly better track here, I think, Kev. It's just whether she gets caught in the mud up front or not.
We can't quite see. The header's going by.
Still just slightly overplayed.
You still holding, Taylor?
Jesus.
Two shots. You heard in the microphone there from Taylor Bruce.
Your two. Oh, okay, yep.
So on the backhand here is Claire Hendra. We'll endeavour shortly to give you an update from the other pairs semi-final, and shortly we'll give you an update of those men's as well, those men's quarterfinals.
And clear on the back end. This is close to a bomb here, I reckon.
Has to find a friend.
Oh, maybe not. Slightly overplayed. So we see sort of a head where every ball's been close-ish, and none of them have been perfect.
It has. I still feel on that forehand side, Alex, is what I would call an open draw.
Yeah, I mean, you're just picking that gap, aren't you?
Into the jack. How's this line look here from...
Just going to ask it to hold, I think.
Breaking in towards the head now, and needs some luck. Better weight, but it's still down.
Yeah, it's a game that's beginning to slip away from the Miller and Rowe combination here.
Two it is.
Two more to Bruce and Hendra, so they now find themselves steering down the barrel of a 12-3 deficit.
Yeah, it's starting to get hard already after 6 of the 18 ends, and here
we go. Here's the semi-final. The other one, Kev, looks like 5-2 to Sandra and Bev after 5 ends.
And that's the Sandra Keith Bev Morrell combination.
What great cameras we have.
Yeah, it's magnificent.
So 5-2 there. So that's a tightly contested game. 5 points and 5 ends as well. So obviously it's been keeping nice and close.
Interesting in this game here, but Taylor Bruce isn't going to change anything, but the 2 metre mark has been pretty much consistent, hasn't it, for the jack delivery and around there. So that good crowd to get in around the green here at Burnside, Alex.
Yeah, it's only going to grow, and they've got coffee here as well, Kev. I'm led to believe proper coffee, not the sort of instant stuff that you get in a bowling club. They've got a proper coffee making machine. The caterers.
So Taylor Bruce. You'll also see now that sun's really starting to...
Here's your time to change hands, by the way.
Absolutely, and I think it is, isn't it? No, it's no. The other thing is, I think at this point as well, you'll start to see the green will get another second of pace onto it.
Yeah.
And, of course, in Christchurch, normally around 11 o'clock, if it's going to happen, we get greeted by that nor'wester that can break its way through, which certainly can make it challenging. And I agree with you, the change of hand scenario, Alex, because we're just not getting anything to build ahead.
I often think, if you don't feel like it's working that well for you, just change something. You can even look to change your pre-shot routine if that feels like it's going to change the monotony, or go for a walk, go get a drink. You just got to change something around at this point. You've got enough ends to go to make a comeback, but you've got to be giving yourself a chance to do that on the head.
And being a right and left-handed combination as well, you can't read the line, so to speak, as much as what you could possibly do. So you are making that change is not...
If it's not going to happen from the lead's point of view, that might be the point where the skip Rowe, you might indicate to your lead there, or talk on the crossover and just say, look, I think we have to change something around here.
So here's the danger of trying to adjust that line too much, Alex, which Emily has endeavoured to do there, and was, you see, literally out of the hand, was below the line. And if you get below the line on these greens here at Burnside, you're not going to... it's not going to reward you, that's for sure. This would be that sort of most wayward head that we've seen today. There's no wind out there at all, by the way. Looking at the trees.
Yeah, it's beautiful conditions. And the greens are absolutely lovely here, Kev, and around the place.
So, just finishing jack level, does Taylor Bruce for that, her 3rd bowl on this, the 7th of 18 ends. Emily Miller giving that little bounce on the mat.
Cool. I've got some updates for the men's quarterfinal singles if you would like them, Kev. Just while
go for your life, Alex.
Excellent. So Andy Curtin is leading 15-3 over Barry Williams in that rubber there. So he's steaming for the semi-final berth. And we've got Richard Hocking is leading 8-4 over Tony Grantham.
It's so beautiful watching them come down.
And Eric Patello is trailing Kelvin Scott 5-6, so a tight game there. And in the last one, where we've got Nick Tomset taking on the defending champion Mike Galloway, Nick is trailing Mike 5-6 as well. So 3 tight games, one that's just running away a little bit.
Yeah, 3 very tight games. The Hocking Grantham one, the Patello Scott game, and Nick Tomset up against the defending champion Michael Galloway. All very close. And Andy Curtin, I think it was the early 90s. Andy Curtin and Mike Galloway played together in the New Zealand emerging players side. So here they are out there again on the greens, and may well have played together for New Zealand when, of course, Galloway has played for New Zealand in years gone by, and it's a better bowl from Miller. That's come to right back to the... Oh, sorry, that was Hendra. Came right back to
it was
the
a good bowl, though, wasn't it?
It was. So here now is Kirsten on the back end.
Interesting line again.
Yeah,
just sort of not finding their way
no.
in the semi-final. And we have seen the experience of Bruce and Hendra, the times where Miller and Rowe have had 1 or 2 on the head and could have easily scored off those.
15.
Yeah, we've seen that conversion shot. That's right, Kev, that conversion shot there from Claire. It's just showing your experience.
It took it from 6-3 to 12-3.
Yeah.
2 ends.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it just
makes a difference.
You know, you can. There's certainly in games there is telling ends, a telling bowl. Another good bowl here from Claire Hendra. Boy, this is great bowling from these two
shot.
now. You'll see it sitting there. Now, let's not muck around. Let's just try and... You've got a chance to rest on bowls down here with that yard of weight, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Tighten that line up with a yard of weight.
Needs it to start breaking, doesn't she?
It's starting to break now, but will it break all the way back to the centre line?
It's going to be disappointing.
It's going to need to sit on something. Is it going to sit on this bowl? It will fall in.
Cut it down to
2.
You sort of think about when you're a skip the way that you would rather miss your bowl. That situation, she would have preferred to miss narrow with that rather than wide because you're missing narrow onto your shelf of bowls.
Absolutely. So, let's just see with this bowl of Claire Hendra's again following that similar line to her first 2 bowls, and this is breaking in towards the head, and this again now.
Do you have a nibble? Is this a nibble time?
Oh, certainly it is.
I think it's nibble time. You could go. She could
No, that's not the shot.
Forehand nibble.
It was wait to the ditch. This is a. Oh.
Okay.
This is a hard shot.
If she nails it, I'll be very impressed.
Yeah, it'll be a big effort to nail it from there, and
it's on a good line.
Hasn't got the weight to get the result. That was certainly had to be attacked.
Yeah, I think it sort of looks like a nice inviting target there to hit on the forehand. And we're going to see another couple of 3 there to the...
Well done, Taylor.
Yeah, good bowls there from the Hendra and Bruce combination.
14-3 now after 7. And I'll just come back to that point, Alex, of that drive or that weighted shot that Claire Hendra played on that 15 to score the 4, 1 bowl on the head.
Yeah. Turned it around.
Turned it around now into an 8-shot situation.
Yeah, without sounding too dramatic, I would say the situation for Miller and Rowe is looking pretty dire at the moment, Kev. They need to just find something from somewhere. Well, you said before, we were talking before we started, they've got about 8 Canterbury titles between them, don't they?
They have. And
so they will have experienced games where they're down before, maybe not on the stage.
Well, the challenging thing is, Alex, is you're trying so hard, obviously, and that you can be missing by a couple of centimetres and be desperately unlucky.
Oh, great starter here,
but
Taylor.
It's getting this start. This is the big thing. And again, you'll see Taylor Bruce giving a great start off the front, sitting as a toucher on jack level. So Emily Miller will come down on the back end, got a bit of a head shake then. And what that meant, trying to come back towards the Bruce bowl, won't do so. Finishes just slightly over jack high, but is really not really in what I would call a scoring potential.
Yeah, no, it's not a horrible bowl, but it's not. It's an ugly place. You know, what are the chances the jack's going to move in that direction to our left, past that?
Just heard Claire Hendra make a comment, and I agree with what Claire just said. I think that's the first bowl that Taylor Bruce has played under the line.
Yes,
and So I think Alex got another update there from the men's.
Yeah, a bit of an update, although that's similar to the last update we got. But I can tell you that Kelvin Scott now leads 7-5 over Eric Patello, so he scored a point in the meantime. And that's all that's changed. So we had really up-to-date updates there, Kev.
So here is the second bowl of Emily Miller. This is a better bowl. Still finishes Jack
Trying to
Lowe.
beat this one. Come inside it, you'll count.
And here's that head, that head management that we're talking about, Alex, where the instruction to Taylor Bruce is to get in between the bowls now.
Yeah.
And to in doing so, of course, you restrict any those scoring chances or numbers, and needs to finish inside this bowl of Emily Miller's going to finish outside it or sit on it. No, it's not. But
Very good home there.
Yeah, great home. Comes
That-
right to the
yeah.
centre line.
That's the difference in headspace now between the Bruce and Hendra combination and the Miller and Rowe. Bruce and Hendra are thinking we've got, 10 ends left. We're leading by 12. If we score on 3 ends and restrict the scoring down with 1,
Well, one, two, over say 4 ends. You
Happy days.
you can live with that.
And just make sure you don't drop more than a 2.
Correct. And I think with the consistency of the draw, I see that unlikely.
It would be, it would be surprising. So that's why,
With
yeah,
weight.
this is I don't mind this as a change in something. Even if she misses, what she's going to here, narrow on her backhand, you can sort of reset your brain. You play a run shot.
I agree.
You're changing something.
Agree entirely. It's get it out of your head. Get it up there.
Yep.
That crowd assembling in here at Burnside on the back green here.
None of them with a coffee in their hands yet, Kev, so
No,
they've
there's
been
not.
kept well awake by
No.
the bowls.
I can see there's Taylor Bruce's mum, who's more than likely, I'd hate to count the number of games of bowls that she's watched.
A few, I
over
think a
the-
few.
A great worker here for the Burnside club. Both her and her husband, great workers for the club.
Yes, Richard Bruce has been very helpful from the Burnside club here. He's been in charge of a few bits and pieces and getting the Nationals ready and doing a stellar job.
Yeah, he's a great, always been, he's a really good guy. And well, to be fair, Burnside and other clubs as well are always so accommodating when you have these big events to make sure that everybody gets looked after. Now, so seeing that we had Emily drive, do we continue that run for the Jack here?
It's a good question. I think that's what they've spoken about. Yes.
Yeah, that's not a bad.
Half a chance.
That's not a bad idea,
Half a chance
actually.
needs to hold.
Just was not far away at all, and I think that's the best option to go for now.
I quite like that changing game plan too from the Miller and Rowe combination. They obviously must have had a chat at one of the crossovers and said, look, something needs to be different here because we've tried something for 8 ends and we're now 15-3 down.
Well, what it means is it just makes it different of how Claire Hendra and Taylor Bruce can play the head. Now, of course,
Yes.
the danger comes here though
Not
on the
quite.
on the attack, is that if you do get the Jack into the ditch, you got to make sure you go clean with it here.
Yeah.
Because looking how the back is, you need to be with the Jack. So on the
Tight.
attack again,
It's tight.
it is, yeah,
Just underneath.
I don't think,
And they're pretty quiet there as the Cater had landed right.
yeah, I wonder whether
Many hearted.
well, it's a hand you feel comfortable with, but I think you always, to me, I think the attack is better on the backhand, especially if you're playing it, because where your bowl and the Jack is more likely to go.
Go with it, yeah, for sure. And Cleo will just be checking another ball there or thereabouts, to be fair. They've got the position at the back. They won't be too fussed if they drop a 1.
Well, there won't be.
If you chip the bowl off clean, I suppose that's probably the best result for the Miller and Rowe combination, and now it isn't.
Well, now it's not,
just
because now you're 2 down.
yeah.
So now it's Jack only you can get. Well, you could get both the
Could
bowls
get both
on the
the
drive.
bowls, yeah.
Got to get them both on the drive. 14-3. So scoring is now becoming paramount for the Burnside mother and daughter combination of Kirsten
On the forehand.
on the forehand, trying to get down.
Holding.
It's
This is a
holding.
better
Is it
bowl
holding
here.
enough
This
to
is a
the
better bowl.
Jack? But it did what we said.
It's not gone as well as it could have.
That's this. Well,
That's what. Yeah, that was a good bowl. But like you've spoken before, the Taylor Bruce Claire Hendra combination have been putting bowls all around their head. It's a percentage game, isn't it, Kev?
well, they owned the back of the rink.
Yeah.
Now they owned the head, and they owned the back of the rink.
Yeah.
So you hit 4.
4.
Yeah. So that makes it, boy, that's now.
Oh, we could be, yeah.
9 ends gone. And we're at 19-3. And to be fair to Emily Miller and Kirsten Rowe, when you're playing on the TV rink, you're in the semi-final of a national championship, you're really, really dragging the chain. You feel it. I know, personally. Played Gary Lawson semi-final at 2005, in fact, at Henderson. Playing with Peter Thorne, Jason Lindsay and Barry Greer, and Gary Lawson. Then surprisingly, after he defeated us, went down to Richard Girvin and Wayne Turley, Steve Beale, and I can't remember the other, but on the composite side.
Oh, yes.
And you know, you're trying to get bowls on the head. You're down on the scoreboard. You just, and you got a crowd there watching. You're trying. You got your friends, family, club mates, whatever, and it becomes tough.
Yeah. Still persisting on that club side. Is it everyone really, all 4 players?
So it'll be interesting, I presume, as we go to this final, the next game, we'll most likely, I would say, move in a rink, would be, I would say.
I think we'll shuffle across a bit, yes.
Yeah. And that may then present or show us a different line.
Hand in there, Taylor.
What it is, you know, it's not a bad rink at all because it is consistent, isn't
Oh,
it?
nothing wrong with the rink whatsoever.
Consistent.
It's just that it's just about and the pace of the green's good. It's not it's not over the top quick. It's a nice. Now here's the change
on the back end.
Well, it's taken 10 ends. And
see how close this one gets.
I could be wrong, but looking at the arc of that bowl, it's going to depend on the weight. More than likely, it looks to be fairly good.
Great bowl, good shot there, and that's, I would imagine, will be the side that she plays the rest of the game.
Yeah. You've been drawing beautifully around that.
Yeah, it's well, you know, I'll give the first 3 ends away. That doesn't matter so much, but so from ends 4 to 9. So had perseverance on that side, coming down towards the reserve end here at Burnside.
Yeah.
And seen
good bowl here, regardless of where it finishes. It's second or third.
Slide across.
No, slightly overplayed. Sorry.
Now here's a chance to really get that confidence booster.
Yeah, do the same thing again, eh? You know, you put 2 bowls close, they could start to sense a bit of hope in the semi-final.
Well, the bowl's been delivered out on that similar arc, actually, Alex, and looks to be
down to the weight here.
It's got the weight, this bowl, and she has. And here we go, a touch to the jack, is it?
Lovely.
Well, and most likely still only one, but
yeah, but a good shot
but
there.
2 good bowls out of the 3, right on top of the head. Mum will give her a bit of a pat here and say, no, they're just having a motherly do it. So what do you think we'll have for lunch?
Yeah, maybe cheese rolls.
Cheese rolls.
If they stay on that side of the head, if they switch, they're going to start potentially being able to dictate terms to Bruce and Hendra, because it'll change the hand that Bruce and Hendra have been playing this entire time too. The head's going to be sitting differently. We're not all following each other down on the club hand side.
No, we're not at all. But I just came back to the point, Alex, how the importance. You look at games afterwards, you analyse games afterwards, and I'd be analysing that game. If I was from a coach's perspective, as a lesson perspective, is that fifth end where we only had 1 bowl on the head, and we went from 6-3 to 10-3, and from then on it's been one-way traffic.
Yeah, very much so, one-way traffic. Here we go. We're going to see a forehand shot by the looks.
Of course, that other semi-final, it's also been played here alongside here, is Natasha Grimshaw and Hannah Rio da Silva up against Sandra Keith and Bev Morrell. And the last cross we had was Sandra Keith and Bev Morrell were a couple of shots in front. Good bowl here from
and we'll endeavour to bring
Kirsten,
updates.
and we'll get an update shortly on that. Here's
Playing
our
under mine.
yes, that's the call, clear. Play under mine with just that reaching weight. And of course, the important thing is once you play under that line, you've got to hold your line up, have the weight to hold that line up, Alex, don't you? So as you're not sliding away from the head here. So playing with more weight is Claire Hendra to get down to that.
See how fast it
Might
breaks.
get her own
Get
bowl,
a lucky result,
get a
though.
lucky result out of it.
Oh,
No,
not
got
quite.
nothing. Now.
Here we go. Stack it up and pray to your gods, I reckon.
Absolutely. Claire Hendra in conversation. I see Craig Merrily, who's a coach,
Yes, the coach, the coach. of
sitting
Hendra.
behind the rink, just conferring.
I think they won. They might have won a mixed pairs together at some point as well.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Maybe the Wellington mixed pairs last year.
So just assessing as Taylor Bruce to see 1 or 2 or 3 down. What's the story?
I won't play with as much weight.
Yeah,
More of a
because
single.
losing the Taylor Bruce bowl is
Yeah.
a 4-shot.
Yeah, this is about playing the board, isn't it? You know, they're 19-3 up. You don't want to do anything silly. Drop a couple we spoke about is fine. So you just play a nice controlled shot here where there's low danger.
Looks tight.
Yeah, that's fine. That's no worries. Nice skin off their nose. It's holding.
That front bowl
It's holding.
inside of it's dangerous for them. Oh, that's. I feel sorry for the
That would hurt a little bit.
for the Burnside combination because they were holding possession of the head there, and Claire Hendra was off target. I can confirm that our first semi-finalist has been found in the men's singles, and Andrew Curtin has defeated Barry Williams of Burnside, and Andrew Curtin, former New Zealand player. Someone could trip me up here, but I think the winner of 9 New Zealand titles.
That sounds right.
And world champion, of course, that's unlucky. I dropped a 1 there. Those.
You know, it's really not going as well as you would like it to. They played a good end there, and they're a bit stiff to drop that point.
That dents you, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And there's Lockie, the son, and Andy Curtin. Number 1 supporter is Lockie, and Dad now through the semi-final of the New Zealand singles, the Summerset national singles. Gold medal winner in the World Bowls in South Africa, the triples.
Yes, that game's available to watch on the Bowls New Zealand Facebook page. Kev, they beat, was it Australia in the final? Quite comfortably, I think, although I've just spoiled it for anyone who was going to watch.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's off, mate. But yeah, that was it was quite interesting in that side because
Handy there.
they stacked things up to, was it Bellis, Curtin and Lawson, was it?
Brassy, I think.
Brassy.
Yes.
And then, of course, Paul Girdler, who was sort of let's stack things up for the triples, and Paul Girdler then won it was a bronze in the pairs. So good opening bowl here from Emily Miller. Change your hands here first, and Taylor Bruce. Just thinking that bowl, that shot bowl of Emily Miller's is just sitting lower the jack, but dead on line to it, and just is not getting able to draw around it for shots. So Taylor Bruce now will play her first bowl on the backhand. It was a big week coming up for Taylor Bruce. So you've got the singles, of course, gets underway tomorrow. The women's singles and men's pairs gets underway, and then at the conclusion, of course, at these national championships, the Burnside Stu Butter, the late Stu Butter invitation pairs get underway,
Very handy, Taylor.
of which Taylor Bruce will be playing in that with Lance Tusker.
They've played in that for a long time, haven't they?
They certainly have. It's a combination that's been together for a number of years. There's people moving at the back of the rink. I think they need to take a bit of a look at this for the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's pretty basic etiquette, to be fair. It's disappointing.
And previous times down here at Burnside, they have sort of not roped off, but coned off and I think really as this crowd builds up, just to be fair to the players, I just think they need to. It would be helpful if there was just a wee bit of
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we'll get something, and maybe we'll make a
last
sign
night
up
you'll have
and
the
just
shot.
keep it fair, because you'd think it'd be basic etiquette, but some people are really focused on watching the bowls and not so much on what the players might be seeing.
Correct.
Or thinking. Another bowl on the back end here, looking like it's a bit out in the whops.
So Andrew Curtin will play the winner of the Richard hockey match. Is that have I got that right, Alex?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, Richard and Tony, they're still having a close one, is my understanding. We'll get an update through as soon as we can.
So just to confirm to you that Andy Curtin is through to the semi-final. Now, something's very, very interesting here in Andy Curtin now making the semi-final. And sure, it's not the final and it's not the win, but it's continuing that Victoria Club of Wellington having players that, as Lou Newman reminds me, year after year after year.
They're up to about a decade's worth of winners, aren't they?
Yeah, it's incredible. And here again, we've got there's Craig Merrilees,
Yep.
the Claire Hendrick coach sitting there.
You can see the heat shimmer too, can't you, Kev?
Oh, yes.
And it's only, what are we, 9:45 in the morning?
It's warm out there.
Going to be a warm one.
We can feel it certainly in here as well, Alex, can't we? And there's, well, maybe a little zephyr of a breeze, but certainly, nothing really. So here's Hendra on this, the 11th of 18 on the back end. Playing the mother and daughter combinations, Kirsten Rowe and Emily Miller of the Burnside Club here in Christchurch. And now the semi-final, we've got Sandra Keith of the Leaston Club in Canterbury, playing with Bev Morrell out of the Canterbury Elmwood Park Club, and up against the combination of Natasha Grimshaw and Hannah Rio de Silva. And we'll give you an update. We'll swing the camera around shortly on that game to give you an update on how that's looking.
Yeah, they had we had the green out in front of us yesterday, Kev, at Burnside, and there we had Mandy and Ange Boyd and Sandra Keith and Natasha Grimshaw and Selena Goddard. It was incredible bowls out in front of us for all those 3 rounds.
Well, I saw the finish of the McElroy Boyd game, the last end of that, and by goodness, Amy McElroy played 2 absolutely superb bowls.
She did.
I think they were all locked up at 14 all or something, I think it was, playing the 18th end. And Amy McElroy, Hendra, just played to get the touch on the jack, missed it. Yes, and the last 2 bowls, Amy McElroy certainly played a couple of superb bowls, but then going down in the next round to Natasha Grimshaw and Hannah Rio de Silva.
Yeah, that was some good bowls to watch. And Natasha, we watched her yesterday just in front of the chat room play Minna Paul. That was another great game of bowls there. Went down to pretty much the last end. So it's been a good event, and the greens have allowed good quality bowls, and we have seen sort of the cream rise to the top, if you will. There's been lots of good games.
Well, I know it sounds harsh, Alex, but I'm sure from a New Zealand selector's point of view, it's what you're wanting to see, isn't it, really?
Absolutely.
Trying to get the jack. Has she got it this time? Yes, she has.
Bomb.
Look at this.
What a bomb there from
What
Claire.
an absolute... Let's shake hands time.
That's brilliant.
1, 2, 3, 5, I think.
Oh, that's great. And that's, that's the smelling blood. That's the experience there. She's 20-3 up. It would have been easy to just get a little bit relaxed. But
That was well played.
Play a good shot.
So here's Rowe trying to get to the bunch to get some result. Gets touched through
What
the
a
jack.
shot.
What a bowl. 5 down. Played through the bowls to the jack. Absolutely magnificent bowl. 2 superb bowls, Alex.
We've gone from 0 to 100, Kev.
Got the target absolutely clean. Jack had been moved off to the centre line into that nest of bowls, and got the jack clean. Did Kirsten Rowe, and sat alongside it for shot. Well played by the Burnside skip. And they get off that dreaded 3, which they scored on the
Yeah.
very first end.
And a good way to do it too with a bomb. I've got some updates for the men's quarterfinals, and then we'll see if we can get a camera on the women's semi-final one. So, in the game where Mike Galloway is playing Nick Tomset, that's 9-8 now to Nick. The other one where Kelvin is playing Eric Patello is 11-5 to Kelvin. And the other semi-final, which is between Richard Hocking and Tony Grantham. Richard Hocking's leading that one 11-8 now, Kev. So 3 really tight games going on in those quarterfinals in the men's.
Well, Richard Hocking, of course, on his home green.
Yes.
And been a great stalwart of Burnside is Richard Hocking. And played New Zealand age group. And certainly a very, very competent.
Yeah, well-known bowler, isn't he?
Yeah, very competent singles player. And the 12th end, Emily just couldn't capitalise with her first bowl. The door's still open. She's a couple of metres short. Taylor Bruce just goes by the 2-metre mark. Now, what's interesting here as well, so Miller has changed her hand as we predicted on that last end, and now she's got a better bowl here with the second bowl as Emily Miller. This is going to get applause to the jack and sits right alongside it at jack level. Yeah. I'm going to ask you, Alex.
Yes.
You notice Taylor Bruce has now changed as well, going this way as well.
Yes, I have. I noticed that. We saw it a couple of ends ago, I think. The side to the club must have been blocked, and we saw Emily Miller switch, and Taylor followed her down. And
so I just wonder, as you and I spoke about earlier, whether there's actually a kind of draw at the finish, like the last, say, 2 to 3 metres towards the jack.
I think if we look at this here now, we've got 4 bowls that are right down the centre line, and that indicates that the players are finding that green maybe just more natural, because they are both consistent, but it's probably more natural just to take that line than it is on the other side.
Well, absolutely, because they just didn't seem to be working their way right on that sweet draw back to the centre line. You see the second bowl of Emily Miller's short of the jack. Here's Taylor Bruce, current New Zealand blackjack on the forehand.
I can report that Sandra Keith is leading that rubber in the semi-finals, 7 points to 4 after 10 ends. Kev?
That's still anybody's 7-4 at 10 ends.
Yep.
Still anybody's game.
They just picked up a 3. Just picked up 3 as I say those words. So 10-4, so they lead by 6. And as you say, there we go. How good.
Yeah, thank you. Is that Colin?
It is Colin, yeah.
He's a good lad, isn't he?
Thanks, Colin. One or the other.
Colin and Tamara. It was Tamara bringing this putting together this coverage, this fantastic coverage that they bring bowl by bowl action of the Summerset National Women's Pairs and men's singles. And then the next couple of days we'll be covering the blind bowls and the para bowls New Zealand events. And then on the 8th and 9th we'll be covering the women's singles and the men's pairs. We'll be back here at Burnside with that live action. And just to confirm that Andy Curtin, playing out of the Victoria Club in Wellington, has won his quarter-final and is now through to the semi-final, and he will play the winner of the Richard Hocking
Tony
Grantham match in that semi-final, which will follow. Our next game we'll be bringing you as the final of the women's pairs, and then this afternoon we'll be bringing you the singles, men's singles, and I can tell you that the next final of the women's pairs we'll have sitting here as well with me Val Smith, the current New Zealand Bowler of the Year, another shot coming in here for the Burnside combination.
Good bowls there. Val will know a thing or two about being in Pairs finals, won't she, Kev?
Absolutely. She's played in a number of them. In fact, as you've spoken about, Alex has won the New Zealand Pairs 2 years out of 3 going into this year, and then won the Pairs, I think, twice with Joe Edwards. So, and, of course, won a World Pairs.
Yeah, not bad.
Here at Burnside, as we see Claire Hendra now trying to sit on close to sitting on the front of the bowl. just goes by, falls out, but was certainly on line to sit on the bowls and make shot of it. So can now Kirsten Rowe repeat? He's got that fairly good line again. It's going to depend on the weight getting down towards the jack area. Going to sit and turns the bowl over of Emily, and just heard Taylor Bruce just say then to beat your last. Well, really, Claire Hendra sat on her last bowl, would go close to shot. So here is Hendra on the forehand, Wellington player. And certainly, I'd say, Alex, right throughout this match,
Yes.
Claire Hendra has shown very, very much consistency with her line.
Yeah.
And
Another well-played bowl there.
she's done that end after end after end, that consistency in the line. And it's just to see whether that front one came in. No, it didn't come in. So it's a
two there,
a
the
two.
inside pair.
Was that 2, Taylor? Oh, I thought it was 3.
No, it wasn't 3, Claire. Claire Hendra, you might have heard in the mic then, thinking that she was 3 down, but no, not to be. It was just a 2.
And the crowd's still building there at Burnside. Just to reconfirm, we'll just go through those scores one more time, Kev. So Keith and Grimshaw in that match, that semi-final, Sandra's leading 10 points to 7. Now, on the most recent updates,
How far are you up?
over on the men's quarterfinals, the Tomset versus Galloway rubber. Galloway, the defending men's singles champions, leading that game 12-9, first to 21, of course. Eric Patello and Kelvin Scott. Kelvin now leads 13 points to 5 after being 7-5 up, so he's beginning to sort of get away with that one a little bit. And in the last quarterfinal between Richard Hocking and Tony Grantham, that's tied up at 11 all.
Well, Kelvin Scott, of course, you know, a Canterbury singles expert. Won a New Zealand singles, of course, a number of years back, but certainly a magnificent draw player is Kelvin Scott. And to see Kelvin heading towards a semi-final is not really surprising.
No, he's
Alex,
always there
at all.
or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Always there or thereabouts. I think, did we see him play a singles match in the National Interclub at Burnside? Was he the singles player
Yes,
then?
he was.
Yes,
That classic final.
That was a great game.
Yeah.
Great event.
That was against Shannon McElroy.
That's right, yes, yeah.
Beautiful track,
So
Andy.
certainly not an unknown player. People will know who Kelvin Scott is, and we're heading for a really good sort of pointy end of the men's singles too, I think.
I see Val Smith has arrived. I'm assuming the camera swung around before. Val is here, so as I said, she'll be sitting alongside me for the final of the women's
Good bowl here.
pairs.
Playing really well on that side away from the clubhouse now is Emily Miller.
Well, as we've spoken about right throughout, Alex, it's about that centre line, isn't it? So on the phone now, that's what that was.
That's great.
Yeah.
As long as she can hear it.
Yeah. You're right, love.
So
Yeah.
what's the equation now, Kev? You've got, 14 points to score in 7 ends, is it?
Well, I look at it this way.
Very good, Taylor.
It's now become, there is Val
Val.
Smith, Lisa Burdett, Debbie White, they've all arrived, staying on a farm somewhere out at Prebbleton.
Right.
They have adopted. By goodness, that lady's taking quite some time to get the shopping list for the supermarket finalised on the phone there, Alex, isn't she?
Supermarket shopping's a dangerous pursuit nowadays, Kev.
So Emily trying to reach inside the Taylor Bruce bowl, just fell a bowl outside it. Yeah, I'd say this is now a 2-end game. If I score in the next 2 ends, we'll see what happens. But if I don't, we shake hands after 14 because
that makes sense. They just got a Miller and Rowe. Just got to be thinking we need to just be scoring end upon end upon end here.
And you've got to pick up at some point. If you're going to stay in the game, you've got to work to pick up a 4 or 5.
Yeah, you need a number to make it because you're not going to. It's unrealistic to think you're not going to drop an end in the next 6.
Well, singles aren't going to do it for you, are they?
No, they're not. So you're right. They need to just score 1s and 2s, and when they see a chance, they need to take it. And conversely, like you say, Hendra and Bruce just going, just score an end, score 1 or 2 ends, and that'll make it just about unsurmountable.
So here now is Kirsten on the backhand, the Burnside skip, Canterbury player, winner of 5 Canterbury titles. Looks to be on that length of head. Could well be on the high side. It is coming back, but will it come back far enough? It's got good weight, but it's going to go by. And
fair effort. The players are, like we've spoken about, if you look at those bowls, they're all within a couple of feet of the centre line. After they've switched away from the clubhouse, I think it certainly is a freer running hand.
Yes, you can see, as you rightly say, Alex, the bowls are just coming back to the centre line all the way, aren't they? He's a good bowler
Lovely
here from
shot,
Hendra.
great bowl. And good touch.
Well, this now really puts pressure on because it's a hard shot to play now. Sat right in behind the jack. Trail shot's not on. So really on the backhand now for Kirsten Rowe. It's endeavouring to get to the shot bowl to endeavour to sit on it. And that's going to be under the line. You'll see the bowl just drop in front
just
there.
Underplayed.
And now, of course, the only danger for Claire Hendra is to give a shoulder for Kirsten Rowe with the last bowl. Other than that, she controls his head and the match very convincingly. And that last bowl, Alex, dropping in directly behind the jack, and this one's going to finish. Look at this from Hendra. She's on fire. It's Claire Hendra. You've got to attack that with weight.
Hit it.
Not going to draw that. Just hit it and see where the jack goes.
Absolutely. On the backhand, forehand, backhand. On the backhand.
Trying to get to the jack.
Very controlled weight here.
Trying to get to jack trail. Emily's very happy with this bowl. Is it going to get that jack? Is it? What a bowl from the mother. What a magnificent bowl. 4-shot turnaround.
Yeah. Good shot. I wouldn't have done that.
No, I wouldn't have done that. That's for sure.
A great bowl. It'll be interesting. So it's clear got those. She's got those 2 pink bowls that we see at 12 o'clock, or we saw at 12 o'clock.
Just be interested to see at hand that elects to play.
Yeah.
Because going back to the other hand again, you've got to get past the front to get to where the shot bowl area.
It'd be tempting to play just nice weight on your backhand through that 12 o'clock split.
There's 3 bowls there to play to.
Yeah. Shuffle up. Not much of a correction on her first one.
Well,
all the chances in the world, really.
You could try the natural draw, but you could miss by 6 inches and still be a couple down.
You can miss by more on the backhand and get a good result there. So I think we'll see clear on the backhand, just sort of
bowls to run into with weight.
Or she could be on the forehand.
Well, this is the harder shot option because needs to get directly around that front bowl as well, but of course it's still got scoreboard control.
She's Alex, that's you can play with a bit of confidence.
Oh, look at this! Well. She's playing this well. Going to get the jack? Is it? No, all but.
Yeah, that's fine. They won't mind dropping a 1. So we see the lead just slightly chipped away, it's chipping and chipping and chipping, but they now trail by 13 points. Do Miller and Rowe.
But there was a very good shot, though, that played by Kirsten right there, wasn't it?
Bit of confidence there, I think. I think they're starting to show signs of the form that got them through to this semi-final.
Because Claire Hendra certainly locked the head up, put the challenge there that you've got to play a good, really good shot to get out of this.
Yeah, and you would have expected just to see her have a fly at it, to be fair. You play such a perfect bowl to trail at 3 feet past, but that's what she did, and she played it well, and we saw Claire Hendra just miss a little bit wide on her forehand, so the score now 7-20.
I must compliment both Taylor Bruce and Emily Miller in regards to their jack delivery.
Yes.
Alex, they haven't been wayward, and they have been consistently delivering the jack to their required that 2 metre mark, haven't they? Where they're so keen to play. So
that's good to see too, because the jack is a huge part of setting your head. In any game you lead, you deliver the jack to where you want to play it. You're setting the terms of engagement. Once your lead starts sort of hiffing them out the side of the rink or into the ditch, that can be when you see games turn around on their head as well, Kev.
Well, we saw early on in this match, and Taylor Bruce's sort of experience, I'd say international experience and consistency, has been very evident in this match in her, what I would call...
Good shot, great bowl.
Playing your bowls consistently within that metre circle.
Yeah, that's what we've seen for sure.
And in pairs, that is it's paramount, isn't it? You know, and the proof of that, of course, was going right back to that 50 end when sure they were one shot down, was the Bruce and Hendra combination, but they had the bowls sitting
all around the head.
all around the head.
Yeah, you're right.
And Claire Hendra was able to play the conversion shot, and because there's been 2 fours scored, you know, they got a 4 on the 5th and a 4 again on the 9th end. So here's Taylor Bruce again, 2 short bowls from Emily Miller. Should be disappointed with those. And it's going to go in behind their head down towards the 2 metre mark, and that's
good leading.
That's good leading. And
one on, one pass. The position's in your favour. If the jack moves, it's all looking happy days.
Well, the other, if you talk about the international game, especially on, say, England as an example, where the Commonwealth Games are going to be on those slower greens, Alex, that's the ideal situation that you want.
Down.
Has it got the weight to get to the jack? Going to finish jack level, will it? Yes, it will.
Good enough.
Because you know that in the UK, if you draw a bowl in that vicinity, the pace of the greens enables you then to be playing with that reaching weight all the time. So if your second bowl then goes a metre behind, it's good position play. And Taylor Bruce again, see the consistency of that line.
Yeah.
And it'll work in behind that shot bowl, and it does.
Good bowl. It's tempting. It's tempting to think that they might be quite aggressive with this bowl, because you're either killing it or you're getting rid of the 2 things. They still need to try to score points here. You're not going to get points at the back.
No, you're not.
The question is, how do you bring 3rd, 4th and 5th shot into play?
Well, the only way you can do that is you have to, with your first bowl, drive those first 2 bowls out of the head.
That's what
leave the jack level bowl as shot, and then see what happens after that.
Absolutely. So I expect to see a drive here, maybe.
I don't think so, but there's only one chance of a 2 here, and that's side movement, literally, of the jack. And on the draw again, but we saw Kirsten Rowe prove us very, very wrong in the last end, and it's going to go by. And really, what's happening here, playing that in between weight, trying to get jack trail.
It's fine if you got back bowls, Kev, but they didn't have it in that situation. So I would have expected to see a drive shot there.
It's demolition weight you got to play, isn't it? If Claire Hendra is to finish on the other side of the centre line, it straight away negates. Or if she gets a touch on the jack,
got to be careful, get it in the right
not
place.
Get it sight.
She's fine.
Yes, fine.
And a good enough. I mean, that position's perfect. So there's no way you can play reaching. Now
you got to be right through. You got to be in the car park actually.
You may as well. You know, if you kill it, it's okay because you get to have another bite of the cherry. But they got to keep the ends ticking over in their favour.
And can't be short.
That's surprising.
Well, you're literally trying to dead draw within 6 inches. You're 20 to 7 down. You're playing the 14th end. You're about 4 down on the head. You're literally sitting close to shake hands time. And what's happened now, of course, of that short bowl, it's made that real straight line attack shot.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck finding a way to get straight to it. I don't see it on.
And a touch of the jack here.
Great bowling here by Claire Hendra. That's brilliant. What a brilliant shot.
Outstanding.
They're going to be a really tough combination to beat in that final.
Well, I think as well, I'm not saying what has helped Alex, but they had 3 tough matches yesterday.
Yes.
In that first day of post-section play. You know, they were 10-0 behind Debbie White and Gail Melrose, and then won their next 2 games by 1 shot, 13-12, 13-12.
And a 4 there.
So Bruce and Hendra have come into the semi-final with a tough day at the office yesterday.
Yeah.
But what they've done now is they have stamped their authority in this Peers semi-final and are now saying to whoever they play, come and beat us.
Yeah, they are, and it'll be difficult because they're playing some great bowls. Look at this. Look at this break-in. Are they going to get a 6 little trail back?
Well, Claire Hendra has been ultra consistent. That's shake hands time.
Great
surely.
Bowls. Great bowls. Nope, they're still going. Okay, so while they're still going, I'll read out the most recent updates, Kev, that I have. So we've got in the game where Richard Hawkins playing Tony Grantham. Richard's leading 14 points to 11 in that match. Eric Patello trails Kelvin 7-15. Nick and Mike. And Nick Thompson and Mike Galloway is now 9-19 to Mike Galloway. So Mike Galloway scored a few ends in a row there, I would say. And in the women's pairs final, Sandra Keith and Bev Morrell now lead 10 points to 8 after 11 ends.
Well, that other women's semi-final, that's certainly too early to call there, isn't it? That's very, very, very tight.
Anything could happen there.
Mike Galloway is sitting pretty comfortable.
Yeah, 19-9 up is Mike on Tom set.
Kelvin Scott's got a nice little buffer.
That 15-7 lead there.
And the Hocking match is still pretty tight, isn't it?
Yeah, 14-11 to Richard Hocking.
That's still pretty tight, isn't it?
I think on the topic of Mike Galloway, he's super motivated to go back-to-back in his singles.
He certainly is. I've been talking to him throughout the year.
Super motivated. He's never been to nationals outside of Auckland.
No, he has not.
So he's ready to go, and I think he'll be a tough one to beat going through.
His name's got to be close to being in the hat. You and I don't select New Zealand sides.
He's in our New Zealand squad.
But if you were to go back-to-back in the New Zealand singles, and through no fault of the players, they've had no chance to play international bowls, but you go back-to-back in the New Zealand singles, or winner and even runner-up.
Yeah. Totally, I agree with you. And like I play bowls in Auckland, obviously, where Mike does, and he is fantastic bowler. You know, he's a great.
Well, he's
got
the big thing about in Mike's favour as well. He's got a delivery which can suit any conditions.
Yep, same as we were talking about with Taylor Bruce and
and that's those deliveries are what. Although the greens in the UK this year, I believe Brett O'Reilly might be able to shed more light upon it, but in the old days in England, like in Manchester in 2002, the green was about 8 seconds. It was on a good day.
It's a bit slightly
and 7 on a normal day. But Leamington on Spa has been consistently running around 12 seconds, and I think come Commonwealth Games it'll be around 12, 13. So that doesn't create the same challenges as 8 and 9 second green, because you are getting finish on your bowls. And remember, when in 2002, for example, at Manchester, the last time New Zealand men won a medal at the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, don't say it too loudly.
Well, I wish I didn't have to say it at all, Alex, to be fair. But the difference in the greens now, and the difference in the type of bowls that the players play with, also now is not such a big obstacle for the New Zealand players as it was in years gone by. Because it was a completely different game in years gone by, for sure. But I think it's compacted a bit now, and I think with the coaching of Mike Kernan, Peter Ballas, and no doubt
I'm excited
others.
to see how we get on over there, I think, Kev. I think I'm cautiously optimistic for a good result for New Zealand. Just quickly, as we were talking about how close that other pair semi-final is, Sandra Keith picked up a 6.
It's not so close now.
a full house, so they now lead 16 points to 8 after 12 ends. Sandra Keith.
So a handy lead there for Sandra Keith, isn't it? And what is it? How many ends gone? 10.
They played 12 ends.
12 ends.
12 ends gone, and they lead by 8.
Got used to playing shorter ends.
We see perfect green here again.
Centre line, you're right. There are all those bowls, 3, 2, 5, 6, 7 of them, all close to that centre line. There, Kirsten on the backhand. That 5, a 4, and a 4. They're very costly.
Yeah. So just, I suppose we should mention it for the people who are watching the live streaming. There will be we'll be covering the the final of the women's pairs, followed by the final of the men's singles at roughly. We're sort of guessing the men's singles might be around 2-ish, 2:30.
Around about, I would say.
And the women's pairs not that long after this one finishes. So that's scheduled in for 11:30, the women's pairs final. So share the links around with your family and friends and bowlers and non-bowlers, and see if we can't get some people watching those games. But Kevin will be in the seat the entire time, and we're going to have we'll make sure we bring him some water, and we'll have some good guest commentators in for the 2 finals.
So yeah, Val Smith, be great to have the current New Zealand Bowler of the Year. She'll receive that award today, I believe.
Yes, we're giving out some of the awards from the Summerset Awards. We weren't able to hold them due to a global pandemic, so it's a good opportunity now.
So trying to get to the jack is Kirsten Rowe, going to sit in behind.
Good shot.
Got one of them, didn't get the tail of Bruce Bolt, still holding the one shot, but the consistency of Claire Hendra on the
I can
draw
afford to be that far.
has certainly been pretty impressive, hasn't it?
She's played so often. She's put 3 bowls in the same place. Yeah, I've been very impressed by this combination. I think they'll be hard to beat in the final, whoever gets to them, to be fair. And they'll be looking, as you said, to make amends for, I think it was last time the Nationals was held in Christchurch.
Absolutely, at Papanui. And I must say as well, completely different conditions as well. 'Cause
Yes.
I remember we were commentating outside and we had quite a bit of wind, actually.
Yeah, there was a concern that the tent was going to blow away at Papanui that year. So good to see them get through to this point into the competition again, and they'll be a very hard team to beat with that consistency they've shown.
They certainly have. They've been consistent, right, except they dropped a 3 on the first end. But other than that, they have had consistency end after end after end. As we watch this bowl of Claire Hendra's out on the wider side.
It's a rare miss there for Claire, to be fair.
Well, you know, one down.
Yeah, we must be getting, I think we'll be getting close to the
Shake hands time. It's got to be after this end.
to the ending of this game, I think, Kev.
Well, it is really 20. Yeah, well, it has to be after this end because
Literally.
sheer mathematics won't allow you to.
No, we haven't brought a power play end into the Nationals yet.
No.
Not yet. We'll see.
But
We'll
let's
see how
just
it
hope
goes.
that these conditions continue, Alex, for the remainder of the Summerset National Championships, because this is just outstanding weather that we've got down here in Christchurch.
Oh, it's been absolutely brilliant, and the greens have been brilliant. We've only heard good reports. Well, that's the only reports we lead into the office anyway, but only heard good reports from around the place. It's a good place to have it.
I've just had confirmed to me by Brett O'Reilly, by the way, that the aim is at Leamington on Spa, where the Commonwealth Games will be.
Yes.
The greens will be at 12 to 13 seconds, assuming no rain, right?
Yeah,
So
that is good. That's good news for the New Zealand side, or for all our Southern Hemispherians. I suspect, Kev, to just have it that little bit freer.
Well, I was there a couple of years ago, in fact, at Leamington on Spa when they had the English Women's Championships on. And they were playing on what I'd call them the refurbished Leamington on Spa greens.
Yes.
And I was with Sian Honor, who I'm picking will be, a good chance will be part of the English side. And the greens are running then at around that same speed. And that shouldn't be too challenging, really.
It's not too bad. It's not that, as you say, it's not that massive adjustment.
No,
you're not putting your shoulder out trying to get the bowl up the green.
There, Taylor.
Well, the other thing, of course, which helps,
Very handy.
Alex, is your lines aren't much different to what you would be playing.
Yes.
Sure, you're not getting the big draw at the finish, but your lines are pretty much the same. So for these international players, it's not so difficult. And of course, the other thing, which always used to be a challenge going to England for so many players, was you really had to change your whole delivery style, because you had to be walking through the bowl.
Yes,
You couldn't stand back on the mat to cup it and try and just let the bowl work, because you
can you imagine a static delivery
Yeah.
for there?
Yeah. So if you look at the deliveries now of our players, Taylor Bruce being one, as we've spoken about, Mike Galloway, who I feel has got more than like the best delivery in New
He
Zealand.
would have one of the nicest deliveries. I
He
think,
certainly has, and it doesn't matter whether he's playing indoor, 21 seconds.
He told me he modelled it after Peter Ballas, Kev.
Well,
he tweaked it because they went to Hong Kong pairs together.
Correct.
And he thought, that's the delivery that I would like to have. And so he got it. Not a bad person to copy a delivery of.
And it's never changed.
No.
And it's never changed. When Mike, of course, first started playing, when I would call there was the Manawatu dominance. There was the Scoglins, there was Peter Shaw, and Mike Sellers, Vic and Wayne Sellers. There's some fantastic bowlers in the Manawatu, Kevin Wing, the late Kevin Wing. And Mike was sort of brought up in that era from a youngster at the Northern Bowling Club, where his father, in fact, was the greenkeeper at Northern. So Mike's been brought up right through that great era.
Yeah, and we believe he's just got through to the semi-finals.
So
So he's made his way through to the semi-final, and he will play the winner of Eric Patello and Kelvin Scott. And Kelvin is 19-7 up on Eric, so in all likelihood we'll see that as one of our semi-finals.
Well, that would be a fantastic semi-final, actually. Kelvin Scott v Galloway, because they're two very good draw players.
Brilliant game of bowls. On the other side, Richard Hocking and Tony, who are playing for the right to play Andrew Curtin. Richard Hocking is leading that game 15-12.
So Richard Hocking, the local.
He's just got that tiny little lead on Tony. Tony played one of the best games of singles I've ever seen in my life, Kev, at a what was it? It was a Battle of the Bridge, I think, 4 or 5 years ago at Browns Bay, and he must have woken up in the morning and felt like playing good bowls.
Which he can.
He played 3 games, and I don't think any opponent scored more than 4 points against him.
Yeah. No, he's been a very consistent player, has Tony Grantham, and, full marks out of Michael Galloway. Winner last year, you are booking yourself a semi-final spot. Certainly, he's putting his hand up. He spoke to me back in Hastings, in fact, at the champion triples, of course, which they won. And he told me then about his, I want to really give it a decent crack. And Michael Galloway certainly doing that. And don't underestimate Martin Dixon and Mike Galloway and the pairs either.
Yes, no, they're a very classic team. They won the New Zealand Open pairs when that was still a thing a few years ago.
So
I've just heard from the rinks that Kelvin Scott is now through his game.
So they can confirm one semi-final. We can confirm that Kelvin Scott of Elmwood Park will play Mike Galloway of Royal Oak in one semi-final.
Yes.
And Andy Curtin of Victoria and Wellington will play the winner of the Richard Hocking match, which is Hocking at this stage has got about a 4-shot lead.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
just
was
got
the
his
last
nose just in front in that game. So a good semi-final lineup developing there in the men's, and what a final we're going to have. Whichever two of those four get through to the final, it's going to be worth watching.
What a fairy tale that would be if Andrew Curtin made his way.
Oh, it'd be great. It'd be great. There's some great stories in bowls, isn't there?
Oh, well, for Andy it certainly is. He's been off the scene for a number of years. Avid follower still of the game, and great player, world champion, of course. So here's Kirsten Rowe playing what I think will be the last bowl of the match.
You'd think so.
And is going to draw the shot, and just goes by, and that's 2. And it's shake hands time. All done at 28-7. So that confirms the in-form combination of Claire Hendra skipping and Taylor Bruce into the final after defeating Kirsten Rowe and Emily Miller of the Burnside Club in a convincing fashion. And Alex, to be fair, they were a class act, weren't they?
Yeah, they did everything right. Everything that you need to do, they did. And you felt like they weren't going to not do that at any point, really. They just played good bowls, and I think we'll see that in the final as well.
The mother and daughter combination of Kirsten Rowe and Emily Miller, they started off well, of course, but then they just couldn't get their line, and about that consistency, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But they're all happy at the other end, as you can see. So there we are. There's our first finalist has been found in the women's pairs. That's the combination of Claire Hendra and Taylor Bruce. And I suppose the big question is, can they go one better than what they did 2 years ago at Bowls Papanui when they were beaten in the final? Well, we'll know all that in a couple of hours, but we'll be back here live to bring you that final. The other semi-finals we know is still going. That's between Sandra Keith and Natasha Grimshaw, and last count it was Sandra Keith that was in front. But we'll be back live bringing you that final, and sitting with me throughout that final will be the current New Zealand Bowler of the Year, Val Smith.